So the doctors have told you that you need to go ahead and make peace with the fact that your baby's traumatic brain injury is going to result in your baby not living for more than 2 or 3 days. But then that 2 or 3 days turns into a week. That week turns into a month. That month turns into a year. That year becomes 7 years, 8 years, 10 years or more. And thankfully, your baby is still here with us. If you're watching this video and your baby has suffered a traumatic brain injury, you may have been told the same thing. You may have been told that your baby was not going to make it, but thankfully your baby is still here. And so I want to talk with you about this today because in some cases, the doctors and the nurses are saying these things because deep down, they are responsible for your baby's traumatic brain injury. I'm not talking about the cases in which there may have been genetics which led to your baby suffering a traumatic brain injury, or it may have been developmental issues that were present which led to your baby suffering a traumatic brain injury. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about cases in which birth trauma, negligence on the doctor or the hospital or the nurses, that is the cause. And we have been doing this long enough to know, and interviewing families and talking to parents, to know that this is a tactic that is used in some situations with families. And when doctors and nurses tell families to make peace, that what this then does is it prevents the family from asking questions. Because if the family begins to ask questions, in some cases they will find that their baby was in, for example, fetal distress. They may find out that their baby did have a low heart rate, bradycardia or tachycardia, or they may find that there were late decelerations, or they may find that there was tachycardia and all of a host of other issues that were present that for whatever reason the medical professionals did not find and they did not see the warning signs. And so when a baby has suffered a traumatic brain injury and has to be taken to the NICU or to some other type of specialized care, hypothermia cooling, if all of this has to be done, the hospitals know that this can be $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 or more for care just around the initial birthing process. And then once we compound those medical bills and those medical care with future care that a traumatic brain injury baby is going to need going into the future, may need retrofitted cars, maybe need wheelchairs, housing, diapers, feeding tubes, a whole host of things. These numbers can then move into the millions of dollars depending on the severity of the injury. The doctors know this, the nurses know this, the defense attorneys know this, risk management knows this, and this is why in some cases they will steer families to make peace. If you have more questions, maybe you're here watching this video today because everything that I've said is ringing true. You have experienced this and you have questions. If you have this going on, what I invite you to do is go ahead and pick up the phone and call me. There's a telephone number on the screen. I talk with families like yours all the time about these issues. I'm shooting this video today because I recently had to talk with a family who experienced this exact same thing that I'm talking about in this video. And it's time for families to understand that it's okay to question these things. When you call me and you speak with my secretary, just let them know that you would like to get on our calendar, pick a date and a time. That is important, a date and a time for us to be able to talk with you. Remember, it costs you absolutely nothing to speak with us about your baby story. Initially, it costs absolutely nothing to do that. One more thing. I practice law here in the state of Maryland, and I know this video is on social media, it's on the internet, it's on websites, and I cannot control who sometimes will call us. If you contact us and you're not in the state of Maryland, understand that we have to use what we call co-counsel or local counsel. In other words, an attorney in your state. That's something we can work with you on, but I just want to make sure that you understand that co-counsel or that local counsel aspect of things. All right, that's going to be it for today's quick educational video. Again, I'm Marcus Boston, and I'm one of the childbirth injury and medical malpractice attorneys practicing law here in the state of Maryland at Boston Law Group, LLC. We'll talk with you next time. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.